Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Chelsea. You know that, I know that, Wiggum knows that, he's behind me, baby in my arms. So I'm speaking a little bit more softly. Don't tell me this is distasteful of a video to make if you're actually not going to watch it all the way through. Calm down, it's going to be okay. I posted on my community tab a sentiment, open up conversation, whatever, regarding Jessie Lee Ward and the aftermath of her passing. It's crazy to me that I'm even saying that right now. That's a sentiment that a lot of people have actually said. It's hard to believe that she's actually gone. Like, I still don't believe it. Like, she was so chaotic, she was so loud, she was such a force, and she's gone. It's wild. I want to read the community tab post I made, and like expand on it and talk about how her following and, you know, really, I guess, reacting or processing or not processing her passing and like the aftermath of all that, and how, in my opinion, it really does drive home that she and, you know, network marketing and this whole industry really is culty, and how, in my opinion, she was a cult leader. And it is very reminiscent of what happens when a cult leader passes away. The reaction that the cult members, and how, you know, they're lost and don't know what to do and start blaming everyone but the person, I don't want to say at fault, but the person themselves. So let me go ahead and read this. I posted this a few days ago. If you're watching this and you didn't know, yes, Jessie Lee Ward, I'm Boss Lee, one of the top network marketers, one of the most, I don't want to say popular, but one of like arguably one of the biggest names in network marketing, one of the loudest for sure, passed away of stage 4 colon cancer. From diagnosis to her passing, which was last week, I don't remember. It was 7 months, or like one day shy of 7 months. The first oncologist, like the specialists that she originally saw, gave her until October, which that's next week. So they were crazy how accurate they are. I don't understand how it's like witchcraft. I don't understand that. Pretty crazy though. Fascinating in itself how like they're able to do that. Anyways, that's a whole nother conversation. She was 35. She left behind 2 beautiful puppies and a leech of a boyfriend, in my opinion, who's still married to his wife and has 2 kids. Anyways, again, another conversation for another time. 2 things can be true at once. I can have the opinion that she's a scammer and not a great person all around. And then I can also acknowledge that it is very sad that she passed and that cancer sucks. I mean, y'all know many times I've said this before. My family's riddled with cancer. Let me read this first. But I'm happy that what I was trying to say came off how I wanted it to. I edited it a few days ago and put a correction, because there is an update and a correction, which is very key into this video and this entire discussion. So I said, watching the aftermath of Jessie Lee Ward's death and how her followers are processing it is very interesting. Many of them don't understand that 2 things can be true at once. She was a scammer and spread dangerous misinformation, and it's also sad that she lost her life. Very sad, obviously. It's the sentiment I've started vocalizing in my videos roughly a year ago. And then in quotes, this isn't bullying. I don't know these people. I don't need to. They put this information out on the internet publicly. I'm just using them as an example of manipulation, scams, red flags, so you know what to look out for, etc. Y'all have heard me say that many, many times in my videos. Many of them are saying she beat cancer, which she didn't. And then this is what I said, but there's actually been an update and a correction to this. She passed from a septic kidney infection caused by kidney stones, allegedly. That has since been debunked. Apparently the cancer had spread all over her body and her body was too weak to fight infection, which that is true for many cancer patients. Cancer just breaks down your body completely. You're very weak. You can't fight off a common cold, pneumonia, you know, COVID, any other type of sickness. That's why a lot of times when people say they passed due to complications of cancer, or it's still valid that even if that little excerpt was true, that it was a kidney infection, it would still be true to say that she passed because of colon cancer. Continuing, and we'll do a little correction update in a second. They wouldn't dare express frustration towards Jessie Lee Ward for spending over $250,000 on alternative holistic treatments, words out of her own mouth, and possibly speeding up her timeline. So instead, they're outraged towards people who spoke out against her cult leader behavior, and even accusing top medical professionals at MD Anderson of malpractice, even though she declined their traditional treatment plan, no matter allegedly how much they urged her to do their traditional treatment plan. Even if you didn't want to do like that specific traditional treatment plan, she was a millionaire. She had so much money, like she could have done like maybe some type of like trial or some type of like other, I don't want to say experimental, but there are other treatments and other like courses of action that you can take where you just throw the kitchen sink at it with Western medicine. Again, though, I understand if someone has a terminal diagnosis and their body is too weak and the chemo and radiation could have possibly, killed her faster. That happened to a family member of mine. They had survived cancer. I'm not joking, 7 times or 8 times. And then the 8th or 9th time, it finally killed them because they couldn't do chemo or radiation because they were so old. Basically, they were like, no, I'm just gonna let this spread. I'm just gonna enjoy my life, which is fine. That's body autonomy. That's okay. But then go enjoy your life. Don't spend 7 months wasting basically trying to, find some cure or coffee enemas or traveling to California to do all these, crazy treatments, and those woo-woo holistic doctors that took that money from her and gave her misinformation and took advantage of her. There's a special place in HE double hockey sticks for them. That is awful. So awful. What I continued to say, in my opinion, many of these people are going through the stages of grief, and if they need to be mad at me to help them get through it, that's fine. My heart goes out to the loved ones of Jessie Lee Ward that have been left behind, and her 2 puppies that she loved so much. Like, she loved those dogs more than she loved any human ever, which is understandable because they're real cute. I just find it really interesting that, like I said, instead of, getting mad at her, and I know it may sound weird, but it's pretty normal, can be normal, that if someone passes, you can be mad at them for denying treatment, not possibly speeding up their diagnosis or their timeline, or committing suicide, taking their own life, whatever. You can be mad at them for leaving you. You might feel guilty about it, but it's okay. That's part of grieving and processing the passing of a loved one, in my opinion. But when the cult aspect enters the chat, you wouldn't dare be mad at her or the industry that really perpetuated this distrust of facts and logic and, pushed her more toward thinking that putting coffee in your anus would heal her cancer. Then also she, posted saying, oh, I healed my cancer. These are the results of my PET scan. And then she died a week later. Like, clearly you didn't heal your cancer, but there are people who, like I said, are going so hard saying that and swearing by this, she did beat cancer. It was a kidney infection. And it's like, that's not how that works. But then an update is that Eric Worre, another figure in network marketing, one of Jessie Lee's best friends, her mentor, she called him dad multiple times. I believed that she was closer with him than her own dad. And she even said that multiple times as well. I mean, you could clearly see that they were very close. If anyone's gonna know, like, insider info, it's gonna be him. If anyone knows the truth, it's gonna be him. He even said in his little tribute video to her that's on his YouTube channel, you can go check it out. It's very sad. He even said it wasn't a kidney infection. That's not correct. It was that the cancer had spread. I don't know if she was lying. That's what a lot of people have said. Maybe she was lying that, like, she cured her cancer, because she even said in that video that she, like, has only like 30 days left or something like that. And then, surprise, it was a week. So there was a lot of, like, false information and people just, going so hard for saying that, like, it was the doctors and blah, blah. And, like, I don't want to say blaming everyone but her. It's just crazy that they'll think that everyone else is lying, everyone else is the worst, everyone else is, the problem, but then, not question anything that she is saying or doing. That ties into the whole cult relationship mentality, cult leader, cult follower aspect of this that I think is a very interesting conversation that we should have. Again, multiple things can be true at once. Let's get 2 things straight and 1 thing gay. A lot of things can be true at once. Let's list off some things that are true. It's so sad that she passed. I didn't like her. That's true. I thought she was a scammer. Yeah. It's so sad that she passed away. It's heartbreaking to see what she's left behind and her downline, like how they're on Instagram packing trials for Prove It and crying. It's so, good God, it is so sad. I can also say, I do, yes, believe in body autonomy. That's okay. If you don't want to, go the traditional route, especially if you have a terminal diagnosis of chemo and radiation. I mean, there have been people who have beat a terminal diagnosis. My dad had a terminal diagnosis and he beat it with the intense treatments that he did. I think that she was worse off than she let on. If you were able to kind of read between the lines, you could see that she was worse off than she let on. But of course, her followers won't want to accept that. They'll want to believe that she cured her cancer by working on her inner child, forgiving her mom, and putting coffee up her butt. And yet here we are, a week after, postmortem. Again, very sad. There have been quite a lot of comments on older videos that I've done on her. The few posts that I've made on my community tab saying things like, oh, you got what you wished for. Whoever wished for her to pass, not me. In any of the videos that I featured her in, post-diagnosis, I made sure to say that I hope she pulls through, and if she doesn't, that I hope she lives her remaining time on this planet, doing things that she loves. And she worked until she passed. She hustled girl boss babed to the grave. Hey, maybe that did bring her joy. Maybe that is what she wanted to do. I don't really understand it because it's like you already have so much money and you can't take it with you when you go, as people say. So why not just travel with your loved ones, spend time with your dogs, and stop doing all these conferences and, you know, speaking arrangements and podcast. Just F off and have fun and enjoy what time you have left. But again, I think it was possibly, and a lot of people have said this too, it was possibly that like she didn't want to admit it. You know, she was still focused on like finding a cure and healing herself. Maybe was still in just like so much denial. And another good point that someone made was, you know, she didn't have the time to go through the process and the stages of like actually accepting it. Realistically, they're right. She didn't have the time to go through all that, go through the motions and, you know, then accept it and enjoy herself. Again, hustle girl boss babing could have been her favorite thing in the world. And if so, wonderful. Love that for you. But like I said, I'm not happy she passed. Wow, that's so unhinged. That is not logical. But again, they don't use logic very often. There have been some people who were like believing so hard that she did cure her cancer. They're commenting under that last PET scan update video on her Instagram saying like, oh my gosh, I was so scared about my diagnosis. Like, I really want to know what treatments you did or what vitamins you took to heal. And it's like, oh my God, like she's going to be responsible. Well, now she has the ultimate out, but she's going to be responsible for spreading false information. And people are going to take that information because people hang on every word that she says and believe it to be true. And then they're going to die. Like, good God. Thankfully, there have been people who've been commenting under those videos or under those original comments and saying like, unfortunately, she passed away. Like clearly taking ridiculous amounts of vitamin C didn't cure her cancer, neither did coffee enemas or sitting in front of like electricity ball thingy. Like that, none of that worked. And hey, maybe chemo and radiation wouldn't have worked either, but many specialists and professionals have said that it would have given her more time. And that's possibly the crazy treatments that she was doing possibly sped up expiration date. Some people have said it's insensitive to say expiration date, but that's literally what it is. So I just wanted to say that again, it is very sad. My heart goes out to all the people who not only that loved her, that had relationships with her, that she has left behind, but then also the people who were hurt by her and that she left in her wake. I think that's important to acknowledge as well. I mean, there are a lot of people that she hurt that now are like, cool, now I'm never going to get closure about this. Like, can also be, you know, something really hard emotionally to go through as well. I've had that happen. Like I said, if these people need me to be the villain to help them get through the grieving process, okay, I will be the villain. That's okay. Understand that's not healthy, and please go to therapy and understand that I'm not the problem. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm literally just the messenger, okay? If they need me to be that, that's okay. I've been worse, but stay spicy. Be nice to yourself. These people are grieving. I know they can be unhinged. I know they think I'm a bully, and some are even saying like, you're unforgettable. She's not forgettable. Like, blah, blah, blah. And I even commented back like, she's unforgettable in a Jim Jones sort of way. Just because someone is unforgettable doesn't mean they were a good person. Just because someone had some redeeming qualities doesn't mean that they're a good person. Just because someone has passed away doesn't mean that no one can ever talk about them again. Or if they are a subject of or a topic of conversation, it doesn't mean that that is distasteful to speak about them or to bring up things that they did that were wrong. Her passing does not, I was going to say does not give her an out, but obviously it does. Jessie Lee Ward's passing does not invalidate, or rather it does not validate her unethical behavior. All of that still happened. It doesn't, it's not a clean slate. That's not how this works. And that goes for any public figure. I've made many videos about public figures that are, you know, that are postmortem. So has the news, so has Netflix, so has any piece of content, right? So again, not logical. It's okay. I wish the best for her family, for her friends, for the people who were hurt by her or who loved her, and for her puppies. So please be nice, stay spicy, stay assertive, go get your blood work done, go get some imaging done. Our healthcare system is very broken. If you can afford it, if it's covered by insurance, please go get yourself checked out. Preventative care. Take care of yourself.